Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's lesson is on expressions, which we keep hearing that word again and again. Remember, expressions are simply problems without equal signs. So it's expressions 2-4, and our goal is today I will write and evaluate, which means solve, expressions. Pretty much we're just going to be solving word problems, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're going to be asked to write the expression before you actually solve it. Excuse me. We don't have any new vocab tonight, so we're going to go right to our steps. Our steps are we're going to read and make sense of the word problem. Now in class, you see me do this sometimes by acting it out with my hands, but we need to make sense of the word problem. What's actually going on in the story? Then we're going to write an expression making it clear what needs to be done first by using those parentheses. Remember, parentheses tell someone what you want them to do first. This is going to be the big step. Now, some of you might think you could attack these word problems without step 2. The problem is on the test, you're going to be required to actually match expressions and to write expressions. So this is what we need to challenge ourselves to do in this lesson, is to write the expression. And then we're just going to evaluate it, which is a fancy word for solve. So again, we're going to first read the word problem, make sense of it, write the expression, making it clear what we're going to do first with parentheses, and then solve. Okay, so what does this look like? Well, here's my first problem, and I'm going to read it and make sense of it. So it says Danny bought 4 red handballs and 3 yellow handballs. Each ball cost $5. How much money did Danny spend? So I'm thinking, well, he has 4 red and he has 3 yellow. Okay, so I'm picturing now total, I'm picturing 7 handballs. I don't know if you're thinking that. And then each one of those he spent $5 on. So that's how I'm making sense of it in my mind. 4 red, 3 yellow, and then they each were $5. So I would maybe say that I first think I should add my 4 red handballs and my 3 yellow handballs. And I want to add my balls together first. So I'm going to put parentheses. And then, since they each cost $5, I am going to first add them and say that I'm going to times $5. This would be my expression. Now, some of you might have been looking at this problem a little differently, and you might have said I have 4 red handballs, and each one's $5, $10, or each $5, and then I also have 3 yellow, which are each $5. You could have kind of solved it that way as well. You could have said, I have 4 handballs, and they each cost $5, plus I have 3 yellow handballs, and they cost $5. So I have these handballs, plus I have those. Okay, that one would have worked as well. Let's try and see what we come up with using our Pemdas. Remember, these are Pemdas problems or order of operation problems because I see more than one operation. So in this one I have 4 plus 3 is 7 times 5. No more parentheses, no exponents. Yes, I have multiplication or division, and I'm getting 35, and I'm done. Well, in this problem, let's set up our Pemdas because I see more than one operation in the problem. I do have parentheses. I'm getting 20, and then I'm going to copy everything else down. I still have parentheses. 3 times 5 is 15. And then I'm going to copy everything else down. No more parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication or division. So I'm going to get 35. So for this problem, you could have looked at it 2 different ways. This is the way that my brain saw it. Okay, now some of you might have been able to get to 35, but this is what you're going to need to be able to do. You are going to be forced in this unit to be able to write expressions. Okay, the next problem says Cleveland wants to buy 4 sets of skateboard wheels and 2 packages of curb wax. Each item costs $7. How much will he spend? Okay, so this is actually really similar to the one we just did. When I do step 1 and I try and read it and make sense of it, I'm seeing he bought 4 sets of skateboard wheels and then 2 packages of curb wax. So this is how many items he bought. And it told me each item cost $7. So each one of these 4 and 2, which each one of those costs $7. So now that I kind of made sense of it in my mind, I'm going to write my expression. Well, I see it just like I saw it earlier. He bought 4 sets of skateboard wheels plus 2 packages of curb wax. So I'm going to add his items together, and then I'm going to multiply them by 7. So this is my expression. And then step 3, and see how I made it clear? You need to add these first. So I put parentheses. If I didn't add them first, someone would think to multiply first, and they would get a very different answer. So those parentheses are crucial. Now I'm going to follow Pemdas. I'm going to do my parentheses, and I get 6. Copy everything else down. No exponents. Yes, multiplication or division, and I'm getting, he's going to spend $42. Okay, so let's try 2 together. All right, my first one says, Juan has 5 shelves with 10 books on each shelf. He buys 4 more books. How many books does he have now? Okay, so we read it. Now we need to actually make sense of it, though. I'm seeing he has 5 shelves, and each shelf has 10 books. So to me, that looks like a multiplication problem. Each shelf has 10 books. And then he buys 4 more books. So what I'm seeing is he has 5 shelves with 10 books on them each. And I'm going to do that first. And then he's going to add 4 more that he buys. So that's my expression. Okay, now let's just solve it. And because there's more than one operation, it becomes a Pemdas problem. Anytime there's more than one operation, it becomes an order of operations or a Pemdas problem. So I do have parentheses, and I get 5 times 10 is 50. Let's copy everything else down. No more parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication or division. Yes, addition or subtraction. He's going to end up with 54 books. Now again, you might have been able to get 54 in your head without doing this. This is the part that's going to be required to be successful on this unit's test. So don't skip that important step. Okay, number 2 says, Serena has 4 birds and her friend Josephine has 3 birds. If each bird costs $2, what is the value of the birds? So when I make sense of it, I'm seeing Serena's 4 birds, Josephine's 3 birds, and then each bird costs $2. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So I'm seeing we have her birds together, and then I'm seeing that as a multiplication problem. So I'm kind of seeing that I'm going to have 4 Serena's birds plus 3 of Josephine's birds, and they each cost $2. So again, if there's more than one operation, it's a Pemdas problem. So my parentheses are 7 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, and copy everything else down. No exponents, and yes, multiplication and division. So I'm seeing the value of her birds is $14. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have 4 problems tonight. Remember, this writing of the expression is mandatory. It's a must. So the answer alone will not be good enough. All right, have a nice evening. Good night.